I was a little bit hesitant to even make this video. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I'm going to touch on it a little bit here. Easton Cowan has been a little bit underwhelming in preseason. This is a time for young players to make an impact, and so far he hasn't. Now, that's with a caveat, obviously. What I mean by that is he's actually made some pretty good defensive plays. I've actually been keeping an eye on him. It seems like he has good defensive awareness. He certainly plays with a high level of intensity. You can see that. But you can also notice that he's not up to an NHL level. Now, you could make the argument that Berube hasn't given him a chance to succeed just yet. And what I mean by that is that Berube seems to have two separate units, two very clear separate units that he wants. So if you take a look at his lineup, he has one, which is their NHL regulars, the Matthews, Marners, Nylanders on one. And then he has basically guys that are on the bubble on the other unit. I don't really think that this is that big of a deal because he's making the guys fight for it. I actually appreciate this because, before it would be lots of mixing and matching. I don't mind the guys getting used to each other, or not used to each other, but, getting under Berube's system right off of the bat. But again, Easton Cowan essentially what Berube is doing is he's saying you have to prove it to your guys. I mean, even Nick Robertson has been on on that other team or unit, so you can take that with what you will. Even Robertson is going to have to fight for a spot. He's putting Max Pacioretty there, and that's just it. Now, it's sometimes the best thing in this situation is just to send the young prospect down. Send the young prospect down, let him play in the World Juniors, let him have an unbelievable season. I guess he'll be, a leader in London, a captain. The worst thing you want to do is force a player into the NHL that is not ready yet. It can stunt his development. That's the last thing that you want. I mean, I guess you might say that he's won every award in the OHL, and maybe it's best for him to get some NHL minutes. I would disagree with that. I mean, this is the exclamation point of the CHL-AHL agreement, where essentially you literally can't have top prospects go play down the AHL. Like, I don't know about you guys, maybe you can jump in the comments and disagree with me on this, but I think Easton Cowan would be a perfect candidate to go down to the American Hockey League, but unfortunately he can't. Like, he's right there about his development. He's way too good for the OHL. He's not good enough yet and hasn't developed enough to play really any role in the NHL. So it would be perfect for him to be in the American Hockey League. Give him 20 minutes. He'll be on the top line. He'll be a call-up option, but unfortunately we just can't do that. It's honestly ridiculous. I shouldn't be going on about that too much, but it's ridiculous. I mean, we have seen prospects get ruined because of getting rushed, and if you had the AHL agreement there, or you could send players to AHL, that probably would happen a lot less, because this is probably why teams do it, right? They think, well, what's he going to learn in the OHL? So what's the point in sending him back? Even though it probably makes logical sense, right? In my opinion, I'm having a hard time figuring out exactly what Easton Cowan is in the NHL. So when he was drafted, I was honestly very surprised. I think that a lot of people were. You can drop it in the comments if you weren't, which is fair enough. I just was very, very surprised. I was like, wow, that was, kind of a surprising move. But okay, he was said to go in like the third round where he was ranked when he was drafted, and then he just blew up in his draft plus 1 year. And I thought to myself, okay, maybe this player is a little bit more. Maybe we can forgive ourselves for Travis Konecny, that huge miss by the Maple Leafs. But I'm still not necessarily convinced that he's going to be a high-end player in the National Hockey League. Watching him play now, to be fair, he is young. Give him a chance. I understand all of that, which is very, very fair. But it's something about him that I'm a little bit, skeptical about, I suppose. I mean, I think he's going to be a really good player, but I'm not sure if he's going to be a third-line penalty kill type guy, maybe more second-line, or possibly even an elite first-line winger. Like, we don't really know exactly where he's going to end up right now, or how the trajectory that his NHL career is going to take. You know, a lot of people will say that it actually makes sense to send a player down. Like, I remember the old adage that, oh, if the Leafs sent down Luke Schenn, he would have been able to be better offensively or something like that. There was a lot of Leaf fans that used to say that. I never actually agreed with that, in my opinion. I always thought to myself, no, I don't know if I agree with that, because, you know, some players just are what they are, right? And then in some ways, sometimes it can stunt their development, but most players just are what they are. And actually, Luke Schenn has had a pretty successful NHL career, to be fair. Actually, he's been really good. But he might have been drafted a little bit too high for where he drafted. Anyways, to bring this back to Easton Cowan, I really think the Leafs need to be careful with them. And I'm talking to my Leaf fan friends, and they're kind of worried. And I'm like, dude, he's 19. He's a kid. It's not a big deal if they have to send him back, right? So, anyways, I am going to leave this video there. If you could drop your opinions and comments, like and subscribe, I would really appreciate that. And have a great day, guys. Goodbye.